Today, the Federal Reserve is expected to announce its biggest interest rate hike in almost 3 decades. The bank is hoping to slow down surging prices on everything from rent and mortgage payments to groceries and gas. But there's some fears we could be headed for a recession. Nancy Cordes has more from the White House.
Good morning. When it comes to inflation, the White House has a few tools it can use, but the Federal Reserve has a jackhammer, and it appears to be poised to use it today.
Inflation. It's sapping the strength of a lot of families.
In Philadelphia Tuesday, President Biden acknowledged the toll high prices are taking, forcing families to spend nearly $350 more per month than they did last year to buy the same goods.
So I have a plan to bring down the cost of gas and food. It's going to take time.
The Federal Reserve isn't waiting. It's expected to raise interest rates by 0.75 percentage point today, the biggest one-time hike in nearly 30 years.
Now, the Fed's got a pretty tough job, right? So they want to raise rates high enough, fast enough to cool down the economy, slow growth, so that the economy doesn't overheat, go past full employment, and exacerbate the high inflation that we have right now. But they don't want to raise rates too fast, too far, and push the economy into recession.
Tuesday's wild market swings ended down, fueled by fears the Fed will go too fast. The S&P is now officially in a bear market, down more than 21% since January. A new Washington Post poll finds nearly 9 in 10 Americans have started bargain hunting for cheaper products. Nearly 8 in 10 are cutting back on eating out and entertainment. The White House is urging Congress to pass funding bills that would ease the burden by lowering the cost of child care and prescription drugs. But Republicans argue pandemic-era stimulus is already contributing to inflation, and they don't want to spend more.
Washington Democrats have been wrong about inflation from the very beginning. Notwithstanding our efforts to try and convince them that pushing $2 trillion out into the economy was going to be inflationary and create lots of havoc in our economy, they went ahead and did it anyway.
As the U.S. struggles with record-high gas prices, the White House is now making it official that President Biden is traveling to oil-rich Saudi Arabia next month. Now, that's a big shift for Mr. Biden, who said during the campaign that he would seek to make the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia a, quote, pariah over human rights abuses. He's getting some heat for this decision, but the White House says he'll go wherever he has to go if it's in the nation's interest. Vlad, Anne-Marie.
All right, Nancy, thank you. So let's bring in CBS News reporter Sarah Ewall-Wice to talk a little bit more about the impending rate hike. So the Fed has signaled plans to raise interest rates in 0.5 point increments. Why is it considering now going a little bit further?
Good morning, Anne-Marie. You know, the reason why we're thinking it'll be more aggressive is inflation isn't easing. You and I talked about this just last week with the latest data that came out. It showed that prices were up 8.6%, hitting another 40-year high. The Fed uses a slightly different measurement when it looks at inflation, but across the board, prices are up, and it has shown that they've been behind. They need to get ahead of this and help ease those prices. The way they do that is by raising the federal funds rate. That helps put downward pressure on inflation. You know, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell said at the last meeting in May that they were looking at putting 0.5 percentage point increases into play in the June and July meeting. So consecutive 0.5 percentage point. Now the markets are locked in, expecting 0.75 percentage point. The former Fed chair of New York said president of New York said he expects 0.75 percentage point increase. Of course, that decision will be announced at today's meeting if that is 100% the case. But, you know, something to think about here is even at the last meeting in May, Chair Powell said that they were not actively considering a 0.75 percentage point increase. So you're showing that they're becoming more aggressive. They realize they have to do something. They have to move more quickly on this. And, you know, across the board, we also have seen that expectations for inflation have gone up. So people are expecting inflation to continue. Of course, that changes some habits, which could further fuel inflation down the road. So the more aggressive approach, I think, is something to keep an eye on. Keep keep in mind, even if they raise it 0.75 of a percentage point today, we're still below 2%. We're going to be at the highest point since the beginning of the pandemic, but that still has a long way to go, and we expect further increases throughout the course of this year.
All right, so let's talk about the downside for this move, Sarah. What could that potentially be?
Yeah, I've talked about this in terms of being at this point in time a necessary evil. The one downside we've seen is in the markets. Obviously, you saw the stock market very volatile this week. As Nancy mentioned, the S&P 500 entering bear market territory, the Dow wiping out gains from over the past year. So that has been a challenge. There are also challenges for consumers across the board. Keep in mind, only about 60% of people own stock, but people everywhere will be seeing increases in the price to borrow. The price of borrowing, those interest rates will go up. They already have been going up, I should say. So if you're taking out a mortgage, your rates are going up. If you're taking out a car loan, those rates have gone up. If you have a credit card, those rates also are going up. Something financial advisors have been telling me time and time again in recent months is if you have credit card debt, pay that down. Try and find credit cards that have a year interest-free to try and get ahead of that as we see rates go up across the board for American consumers.
So how challenging will it be then for the Fed to avoid a recession? They want to cool things off, but not too much, considering what's contributing to inflation. It's so varied. There's such a different, there are domestic factors, but also international factors that they don't have any control over.
Exactly. This is going to be a serious challenge, and no one is saying it is not going to be a challenge. The Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell was trying to be optimistic about this, saying he does not believe they're going to go into a recession. Secretary Janet Yellen, the Treasury Secretary, also said that there's nothing to suggest a recession is on the horizon here. But there are others who've been very critical of the Fed, saying it has been behind. Someone who has said that they're expecting a recession within the next 2 years is Larry Summers, the former Treasury Secretary. He said that earlier this week. So there's a lot of mixed reaction and mixed expectations when it comes to this. What the Fed has to do is has to slowly ease prices by raising interest rate, but it also has to worry about jobs. Right now, they had a strong jobs report that came out a couple weeks ago, but they're going to continue to be balancing different factors. And as you mentioned, there are outside factors at play driving inflation, the war in Ukraine, for one, driving up energy prices, as well as food prices. So that's one factor. The other factor still at play here that has made some really big challenges for the Fed when it comes to making projections is supply chain issues. We still have supply chain issues stemming from the coronavirus pandemic. Those have been easing some, but there also have been some shocks along the way. So it has been a very bumpy ride.
So one of the things that was pointed out to us yesterday, Sarah, when we had Jill Schlesinger here, is how the Fed has behaved. You mentioned the coronavirus epidemic, how the Fed has behaved throughout the coronavirus epidemic. It almost feels as if they're sort of playing catch up right now. So is the Federal Reserve facing a credibility challenge?
They most certainly are facing a credibility challenge. They've been facing a ton of criticism, and that criticism has really started at the end of last year into this year. We saw inflation rising last year, and of course, the Federal Reserve Chairman had been using the term transitory. He, I know, had said he wishes he hadn't used that term. They needed to retire that term last year, but it goes to show they thought this would be easing by this point, and it hasn't. But we really are in uncharted territories in terms of coming out of a global pandemic. So there's one that he is facing criticism. The Fed is facing criticism for not moving faster, not moving sooner, as we saw prices start to rise last year. But on the other hand, it really is hard to say where this pandemic is going to go or where it has been over the past few months because we've seen different variants. And of course, we've had a war in Ukraine. That is not something the Fed would be predicting in its projections last year as they started to look at ways to kind of wind down their stimulus from the pandemic.
All right, Sarah, as always, we thank you.
Thank you.